Hi guys, Jason here at Jason's Creative Adventures, and I'm gonna take you guys around and do a little bit of a garden update. I gotta do some cleanup. The backyard is just atrocious. I got 2 kiddie pools to pick up. I've gotta do a bunch of weeding, and I'm gonna take you around and show you a lot of what's going on here. So let's go around and I'll show you what's going on. So starting right here, the stick bed really hasn't, nothing's really grown in the stick bed at all. There was a couple of cucumbers growing. They got about this big, and then something got to them just this past week. It has been several, if not a couple of months since I did my last video, and I'll show you what this stick bed looks like right in here. Something's dug a hole and everything is just settled. The stick bed has just been settling and critters have been digging holes in there. I'm either gonna completely take this stick bed away and use all that dirt somewhere else, or I am going to top it off and try to regrow stuff up in there. We'll just have to see. None of these 2 flower beds have really, the flowers just kind of died away. We stopped watering them, and so they just kind of dried out and fizzled out because they weren't, rain can't get to them underneath the eave, and so everything just died off over here. So nothing but weeds growing really over here. Nothing really, nothing much has really happened over here. The collard greens have been growing. This has been nothing but a sacrificial area for all the critters to come eat, like the worms and stuff. Be able to come over here and eat this, which has kept them off of the gardens in the backyard. My metal beds have a really sharp edge on the bottom of them, and the one of the brand new green hoses that I bought got underneath and got sliced on the bottom, and so I can't use it to water anymore. So I'm trying to use the other hose to water with. Not that I've been doing any watering lately. This is my compost bin that I've been throwing. Well, I've been having Pop-Up throw grass clippings in here, and then we throw food scraps in here, and I just need to get in here and turn it and mix it up so that it can really break down, and then maybe I can have some really decent compost. I've been getting lots of tomatoes out of the garden. Some of them are getting too close to the ground, so that they've been rotting, but some of them are coming out pretty decent. But some of them are touching the ground and they're getting rot on the bottom. But I'm getting some decent ones. Like right here. Getting some decent sized ones. I've been getting cucumbers growing, but they're really yellow. If you look at that right there, and let's see, got that big fat one right there that's really yellow. There's a tomato that's turning red. Got this tomato. But I'm also getting these tomatoes that are on the ground. They're getting kind of funky. I'll take that in. Maybe we can use it for something. These yellow pear tomatoes have been pretty prolific. Some of them get this bottom rot on them. Looks like these 3 tomato plants have kind of fizzled out. They're not really growing anything. We got a couple of really tiny ones on there, but not really worth picking. These are those chocolate cherry ones. Chocolate cherry, another yellow tomato. Getting some tomatoes off of here. Some tomatoes out of here, but a lot of these beds are overgrown with weeds. I need to go through and heavily pull weeds and start looking into what I'm going to do for a fall crop here in the next few weeks. Right now it's August 24th, so we're at the end of August, and it's going to start getting cooler. Right now we're at the peak of summer temperatures. But it's going to start cooling down in the next few weeks, and then I'll be able to start really concentrating on pulling all this stuff and working on putting in my fall crop, which will probably be a lot of leafy greens and things like that. Nothing's really been going on with my plants that I took out of the greenhouse and put them around the deck. Looks like we might have a few smallish green peppers. Nothing really did happen with my ground cherries. They kind of got stunted. So I don't know if they're ever gonna grow. Red Russian kale is just kind of dried out. My chocolate mint dried all the way out. We got the milkweed, which I might save the seeds from these pods. and then try to grow some of those somewhere else. Ground cherries, nope, not over here either. A lot of stuff just kind of dried out. It's like my aloe down there is doing okay. My bunching onions grew up, and these just kind of filled up with water. These plants we bought, whenever you get them in the ground, it's like they're still kind of alive. Not sure what this one was supposed to be. Most of them dried out. I think this was a blackberry. And 2 blueberry, which the blueberry basically dried out. You see this bed, the fence that I put around it didn't stay on. And everything here just kind of bolted, went to seed, or weeds have taken over in it. This fence came out from the other side. Got to fix it. So might have some blackberry left right there, unless that's a weed. I need to take down this pool. I need to take down this pool right here. Clean up the yard a little bit. It's gotten really dirty. Take down that pool. Then I got this one that I already took down. I just folded up. And greenhouse kind of became an area for to store my generator, my wood chipper, my air compressor. And I got my 2 sprayers. One which is my foliar feeder sprayer, and then the other one is weed killer, which I put vinegar, dish soap, and salt in. So just gotta get in here and clean things up. I haven't done anything with these, but they're still alive for the most part. They're kind of wilting and browning. It's getting towards that time of the year and they're gonna start dying back. And hopefully they will stay alive through winter and come back next spring and thrive and become bigger. And I can, I've been meaning to put a trellis on here, back here, so that there's more for it to grow up. But it looks a lot better than I expected it to, from me not doing anything with it and just kind of letting it fend for itself. Haven't been watering it, haven't been doing anything for the last couple months. So that's kind of what the garden looks like. It's just kind of weed ridden, and despite my neglect, the garden has been growing anyway. I may or may not get any more cucumbers. I got one big fat cucumber about this long, but about really thick. It was good. I sliced it up and ate it on the truck while I was driving. It was really good. But the rest of them are just kind of not really turning green. They're yellow. They're growing, but I don't know if I'm going to get anything off there, if they're going to ripen or not. It is really hot, so a lot of things are bolting. And here in a few weeks, as the temperatures start to come down, we start getting into the beginning of September and such, and the temperatures cool down, we'll see how that affects the garden. In the meantime, I need to get in here and pull weeds, cut things down, and start getting ready for putting some sort of a fall crop in. And I gotta decide what all I want to put in. Probably a lot of leafy greens as soon as the temperatures start coming down. So anyway, that's the garden update. I'll show you more as I get done. I'll show you when I get things weeded, and we'll see how things go after that. So thanks, guys. Catch you here later. Guys, it's been a few days since the clip right before this. I'm getting ready to tear out a lot of my gardens because the production of peppers and tomatoes is gone drastically down, so it's time to start pulling that stuff and to clean all this stuff up. The ground cherries have not produced. They just have all these little tiny things here. They're tiny little deals, but they haven't become anything. And then flowers are doing good. See the red flowers. But as far as any of my leafy greens or anything, if you see all that, nothing's really done much of anything. There's more weeds growing up and everything than anything. So I'm just gonna start ripping stuff out and start getting ready to start putting stuff in the greenhouse, because here in the next couple weeks it's gonna start getting cooler. We're right at August 28th, Saturday, August 28th, so we're right at the end of August, and here in Iowa, right after August, September and November, things start cooling off and temperatures start dropping, and it starts being really hot during the middle of the day, but it's really almost kind of chilly in the morning and in the evenings for a little while, and then it just gets cool all the time. And then this last couple of winters, it has just been not even really that bad until after Christmas, and then we get hit with all the snow and the really cold temperatures and stuff. Last year I think we got a little more snow at the beginning of October, November, but it's just, there's nothing these last couple years as what we'd call a normal weather for Iowa. It's really been changing, so it's really hard to tell what to expect. But this last couple, like 3 to 4 years, it's been pretty consistent that we don't get really drastic weather until after Christmas, and then between Christmas and New Year's, and then right after, we just get all kinds of really drastically cold temperatures and snow and stuff. And it don't really get a lot of snow before that, maybe like 1, maybe 2 snowings, or if we do get snow, it's like a dusting. Maybe one big snowstorm puts a little bit of snow down, and then it's just really hard to predict what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna start tearing things out here. If you can see, a lot of weeds, a lot of stuff overgrown. Like, I believe that is that big tall thing right there. That is a lamb's quarter. That is just that, because I haven't done anything really out here. That thing right there is a lamb quarter, just because I haven't done much of anything out here. It has gotten really tall. The leaves have even become kind of longer. They're not that fatter duck's foot look so much anymore, and it's just grown like a big old weed, and it's probably gone to seed. I think I see seed pods and stuff. If you've seen, some of these pots have water in them. Let's see, can't see what I'm pointing at there. This metal pot right here has got water in it, and that's actually Elena's plant that she had, her hostas or whatever you call it. If you look over there in that far bed up against the fence, it's filled with bull thistle and other types of weeds. There's just weeds throughout mixed in. We got purple bell pepper right over here in the corner. Lots of tomato plants. Some of them are just barely like putting off like a few little tomatoes here and there, but they're not really giving out enough for it to merit keeping them. There's a yellow bell pepper over there that has a couple bell peppers. You see right here, there's a cherry tomato right there off of that plant. Really nothing on these three here. There's some big tomatoes coming off of that mess over there. There's some yellow pear cherry tomatoes coming off of these plants over there, and I don't know if you can see, let's see, over there is a couple of bell peppers that are like a yellow or orange looking color that is coming up, but there's just not a whole lot coming out of the garden. Even the cucumbers aren't really forming, they're just really yellow. It was suggested to me that maybe I need to get my soil tested to see why, because a lot of the bell peppers coming off of some of the plants in these beds over here haven't really gotten bigger than the size of cherry tomatoes. I mean, they barely gotten about that big. And if you see here, there's some really look right up right there. Those aren't very big. Those are barely, my fingers probably as fat around as that bell pepper right there. But then up from that, you see that there's yellow pear cherry tomato, and there's a few mixed in. See, there's a lot of green ones. Let me zoom out a little bit. Throughout, I don't know if it's picking those up very well. Like, there's some right there, over here. But If you look right here, got some big tomatoes. Right here, let's see. Got this one, which has been eaten into. You see that? So, it's nice sized tomatoes, but we'll let them ripen inside. Let's see, and you see I'm getting a lot of tomatoes that are almost starting to form a second tomato in them. So it's getting about time to pull these. It's getting about time to pull these beds and get ready for fall garden. So but like over here, got this tomato that's finally starting to blush. Getting some tomatoes here right at the last bit of the summer, but they're really not doing much. Like I got this, it really is stopping to produce. So it's time to yank. It's time to yank a lot of these and get ready for fall garden. If you look here, this thing has stayed yellow. It's like a cucumber that just has stayed yellow. And there's a couple more like that. Like right here, which that one, yeah, it's still connected. Okay, there's that one, this one, this one, and then up here got this little thing right here, which I think has started to rot. So all this is just ready to go. And I've got these milkweed pods, which I could save the seeds for milkweed and spread them out next summer. And then let's see what else I can show you here. This looks like it's ready. It's not very big. So everything else is pretty much just weeds. I mean, I've got stuff that is trying to ripen but is taking forever. And I don't know why things have been taking so long. I don't know if it has to do with the fact that a lot of this garden is under shade most of the time and doesn't get too many hours of sunlight throughout the day. And because we're in the middle of August, things have slowed down and struggling because of the high humidity index that we got going on this last few weeks and stuff. But it is time to start weeding and taking everything out of all these beds and get ready for the fall garden. Here in a little bit I'll be going to Walmart and I'm going to pick up 2 more wire shelves for the greenhouse and put those up, and then I can start. I'm gonna have to wait a week or two and wait for these temperatures to cool down and then I can really start planting a lot of different leafy greens that I have seeds for, all kinds of different kales and endives and lettuces and some root vegetables like some carrots and stuff, some radishes and carrots. What else? I might have repeated myself on carrots. Anyway, I've got to really start pulling all this out, and it may not happen today. Here is some bell peppers. This one's doing pretty good on bell peppers. They're not real big though. They're only that big. We got this yellow bell pepper. But I want to show you something. Look at how tall this thing is. That is either the apple or the pear tree, and it's gotten almost as tall as the house. It's as tall as the beginning of the roof, and I gotta decide whether I'm gonna top that off, which I probably will. So let's do that. Top this off. I don't even know if you guys saw what I just did. Thought it was in the picture. What I did was I lopped off all that. This was the tall one. And I can just take and put this down into little pieces and let it compost in this bed. I have no idea what this is. Probably one of the flowers that we planted. Alright, we got a lot more to do. Say hi, Elena.
Hi.
Got Gabby on the swing. Go push Gabby real quick. No, give her Gabby a push. Are you gonna push her? There you go.
I'm going on a slide today.
Yep.
I like slides.
There you go. Here's my fencing that didn't stay up.